you're connected to him. You find out a little bit about him, and the act of doing all these very simple things, as I mentioned before, is a really fundamental way to get heavily invested in characters. And this is when stuff actually happens to them, you care about it, because you've spent so much more time with them, not only just doing action scenes, but just going around the house, and it's really smartly done. I mean, as I said before, it's an acquired taste. Some people will be like, this is silly, you know, like if I wanted to brush my teeth, I can just do that in real life. But you see, this is the point. Like, you're doing things with these characters that you do in real life, and that is the connection. Let's take another random example. You know, what's the connection between yourself and a police officer? No connection, right? Wrong. I mean, take a look at The Wire. The Wire had extra time in its 1 hour time slot to really have these moments with all characters, which show that before the police detectives, they're human beings. And what's the one thing that connects human beings? Emotion. So when you feel or can communicate that you know what someone is feeling, they're feeling in their body, and it's the same as they really get it, that wow, yeah, this person understands what I'm feeling right now. When that's a very sort of primal, if you will, connection there. And you know, that's something that really pushed in The Wire. And Homicide: Life on the Street is another excellent example. I mean, there are so many scenes in Homicide: Life on the Street which are just talking about random stuff, just stuff which happens in life, and it has nothing to do with, you know, the actual cases. But this really adds a three-dimensional aspect to these characters. That, sure, I mean, they're homicide detectives, but when they come down to their home at the end of the day, guess what? They're human beings, and that's something we all are. We all are human beings. And in this game, Indigo Prophecy, spending time doing these little tasks here and there really allows us to connect with these characters as human beings. And so when we're progressing through the story, we care about them more, and the experience is much more intense and interesting along the way. So the split screen also is an interesting take. There's many scenes in here where there's a bit of pressure, and then you see it from another person's perspective, or another angle, and you're like, wow, if I don't do this, this will happen. This needs to happen now. And just like Heavy Rain, it really did sort of feel like you really wanted things to work out for these characters, because you know about them a lot. I guess there was this one particular moment in the game, and I noticed, I had I had tears in my eyes, and I thought to myself, wow, this is another another step up on the ladder of gaming. I mean, when I was growing up playing games throughout my childhood, I never thought that I'd be playing a game as if I was playing a movie, to the point where I found myself actually emotionally reacting to a story by crying. But it was just the moment in the game, it was just it was very well done. It was very touching, and yeah, it definitely made me cry. So anything that moves me like that, because as you know, I value emotions highly. In a world that's ever more superficial, if anything can provide emotions, whether it be good or bad, or a form of entertainment that connects you and moves you on an emotional level, I value that highly, because that's emotions are they're uncensored, they're raw, they're real, and they're something that connects us. So that moment in this game, which provided that for me, it was a very interesting moment, and I sort of had to slap myself and say, wow, I'm actually playing a video game here, but it's like you're watching a movie. But that's Fahrenheit. I mean, Heavy Rain is heavy. That's the difference between Heavy Rain and Fahrenheit or Indigo Prophecy. Heavy Rain is one man's personal story about his love for his son, with Fahrenheit here, it's one man's life situation which throws him into a set of unbelievable circumstances which he has to deal with, and it's much more of a global scale. Like if he doesn't work out what's going on, many people are going to be affected, whereas in Heavy Rain you've only got 4 people which are going to be affected either directly or indirectly. So I think any good story really has to have a guy that's very down to earth. Otherwise, well, not any good story, but it's always nice to see a story which has a character that is down to earth and you can really relate to them, and then you see them go through all these crazy situations. A TV show which is doing this at the moment, which I recommend everyone check out, is Breaking Bad. It's got the actor from Malcolm in the Middle in it, and it's a very smart show. The basis for it is this guy who's dying of cancer, and he decides to go into the drug industry in order to provide enough money for his family when he passes away. He sort of feels like he needs to leave some sort of legacy behind, leave some money behind before he dies, because otherwise he'll feel guilty about it. This is a very, I guess you could say, slow burning show, but these writers are very smart. Like there's not much flash. There's not much action. It's a very psychological sort of smart drama, and the focus is not all on drugs. It goes around on touches on many different topics. But the main point is that the main guy, Walter White, main character, he's a very relatable character. Like anyone can see himself as Walter White. He's a teacher. He's not enjoying his job. They show him do many things around his house. This is stuff we can relate to, and as soon as we can relate to something, boom, you can say, yeah, this guy's like me. And then you see him go through all these other situations, and your brain's like, oh, yep, I can relate. Yep, this is a character I can relate to, and he's going through all these other situations, and you start to think to yourself, wow, would I deal with it this way? Would I deal with it that way? And it's always nice to have a character which is down to earth like that, and the writers, they're not making him this crazy dude, but he's evolving. His character is changing, but it's nice that where he started from was a very simple, polite man, and that's the basis for the story. I guess not much else can be said about Fahrenheit. Again, these reviews are interesting because I wanted, if it was a spoiler open review, then I could talk about a lot more, but I always talk about the background stuff, what's driving these games to make them actually really good. But if I was doing a spoiler review, actually I wouldn't even do a spoiler review, because that would defeat the purpose of people out there that want to play this game, and I don't want to. With the amount of spoilers that have been thrown my way, guys, I'm not going to spoil anything. I've had Red Dead Redemption was spoiled for me. That one was particularly annoying, but I was on the internet, and that was sort of partly my fault. Heavy Rain I had spoiled for me. I was very angry about that, because I actually bought a console to play it, and then someone on the Heavy Rain fan page just posts a major plot point, and I tried so hard to believe it was something else, but obviously these trolls on the internet, and so it actually was true what they said, and that's why I want to keep these games spoiler free. But I really encourage everyone to play this game, Fahrenheit. It's an older game. I think you can download it on the Xbox Live Marketplace, but it really is done well. It opens up with a interesting credit sequence, very well written narrative. I found some fault with it, but overall I was pretty impressed with it. And interesting characters, decisions you have to make, but overall the story is so much in the game to me, and the story was really